Hello guys, welcome back to part 5 of the limited review. Today we're going to be looking at the green cards. Finally, we're done. Well, we're going to be done with all the monocolored cards. Then we're moving to gold next. Just a reminder, these are my opinions, my first impressions as well. I'm not that good at Magic. I'm an average player, so do not take anything I say too hard. And if you disagree, please do let me know and let me know what you feel about the cards. So let's get started. We have 3 rares to start off, that's nice. So we begin with Accomplished Alchemist, 3 in a green for 2/5, Elf Druid. So that's a interesting body, that's fine. Tap to add 1 mana of of any color. How did I struggle to read that? I don't know. So that's Fixing. Add X mana of any one color, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn. Okay. So the body itself is fine, 3 mana 2/5, that's fine. It fixes for different colors, but it's a bit late on turn 5 onwards, which can be fine still. You can potentially add a lot of mana if you're gaining a lot of life, but that isn't really a nice way that we've seen so far to gain a lot of life consistently. So I'm not sure if the second ability is very limited minded, but I'm fine with a 2/5 that adds a mana that ramps me and fixes color. I'm okay with that for 4 mana. There was Ritual Alchemist, that's funny if that's the name, but Oriolist. From Our Devastation, it was a 2/4 for 4 that also tapped for any color of mana. Obviously, you could have tapped for 2 colors of mana if you exerted it, but I think this is in the same level, and I rated that card quite highly throughout the format. So this is a good fix. I'm happy with this. I wouldn't pick it too early though, I don't think, because the body itself is not that impressive, but I do like the fixing. I do like it in sealed, especially because I do like going multiple colors. Next we have Augmenta Pugilist. I'm not sure, never seen a word before in my life. 1 double green for 3/3 with trample. Big poggers there. That's a good body. That's good on itself. Any pump spell makes it a lot better. You're pushing through damage while also killing the creatures. And as long as you control 8 or more lands, it gets +5/+5. So if you draw it late or if you flood it, this is going to be an 8/8 trampler for this small cost of 3 mana. Very good card, very good aggressive card, and can even handle the late game as well, so I'm very happy with this card. On the back side though, we have Echoing Equation, 3 and double blue for a sorcery. Choose target creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of it until end of turn, except those creatures aren't legendary if the chosen creature is legendary. This seems funky if you can make a lot of Pest tokens, and then you have 1 chonker. Why am I saying weird stuff today? If you have 1 fatty, 1 big creature to make all your pests into that and have a big swing, I feel this side is going to be more constructed minded as well. It's going to do more silly things there. I think in limited we're going to be leaning a lot more into the back side and the front side rather than the back side, but I can see some funky stuff with pest tokens and a big creature alongside it. Watch this space, but be super excited about this space here. Basic Conjuration, 1 and double green for a lesson. So this is the rare lesson for green. Look at the top 6 cards of a library. Okay, we're looking at a lot of cards. You may review a creature from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library and you gain 3 life. How is this 3 mana? I guess because it's a lesson. I mean, it's a rare for 3 mana that has like a mediocre ability, but I guess being a lesson makes it good. I would definitely never main deck this. He only gets 1 creature. It gains me 3 life, which is like whatever. If this wasn't a lesson, it would be like a common that no one played, but since it's a lesson, I'm happy to have it on my sideboard. But I wouldn't make a massive effort to pick it up early, but if I get it, I will play as a lesson. Always a lesson, never main deck this, in my opinion. Next, I have Bayou Gruff. What? I don't like Wizards of the Coast. They make weird words that us foreigners can't say. 1 and a green for 5/4 Plant Dog. Plant Dog. Alright. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature or pay 3. So it's either 5 mana 5/4 or a 2 mana 5/4 that you probably sacrifice a pest a creature that's being locked down, a creature that's over has been over, well, it has just fallen behind on the board. It's not going to impact the board anymore. This is a good, look at this as a 5-drop most of the time. Try to look at this as a 5-drop unless you're making a lot of Pest tokens. But a 5 mana 5/4 is like filler. But if you have a lot of Pest and you have the possibility of this being a 2 mana 5/4, this gets a lot better. But at its worst, it's okay. At its best, it's fine. So fine to good, probably closer to good. So yeah, I like this card. Do like this card. I like the creature type as well. Don't like the word Groff. Sounds weird. Sounds like some weird fancy food. Anyway, big play. 1 and a green for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains reach and put a count on it. So the creature's getting +3/+3, and one of that is permanent. Giving reach is really nice. This is a good combat trick. I like this. I like reach. Reach will help you deal with the flyers that green might have a hard time to deal with sometimes, especially heavy creature decks with, ground creatures. Permanent counter, sorry about that, is gonna help you for future attacks. It's gonna help you push damage in the future. This is just a very good combat trick for green. I like this card as well. I'm a big fan of 4 of the 5 cards we've seen so far. This is high on my list for pump spells, especially for green. Next we have Black's Vexing Pest. 2 and a green for a mythic 3/2 legendary creature, Pest. Other pests, bats, insects, snakes, and spiders you control. I know we've seen the pest tokens, but out of the top of my head, I can't think of any bats, insects, snakes, and spiders. But I don't pay that much attention to those creature types. So this first line of text could be a lot better than I think. But if you have a lot of pests, this is good already. I mean, a 3/2 for 3 is fine on its own. But being able to pump your Pest, especially since you're in green has a lot of the Pest makers, so that's nice. And when it dies, you gain 4 life, so it has a little added bonus in the end, a little spice. So that's nice. On the back side, we have Search for Black. So we're searching for him now. Searching for him rather. Him, them, it. I'm not sure what it is. 2 and double black for sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards. You may put in a number of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. That's nice. What's the catch? You lose 3 life for each card you put into your hand. So if I want to pay 4 mana to basically draw 2 cards, I have to pay 6 life? That's expensive and hurtful. I can pay 15 life for 5 cards, but I'm just dying at that point, I guess. I guess if you're gaining enough life, this side can be cost, and can be very good. But I'm guessing you're also not getting 5 cards most of the time. You're probably drawing 3 or 4 and maybe putting in an extra land into the graveyard, 2 lands, or maybe a pump spell when you have no creatures. I have to watch how permanent life gain is in the format, but the front side is fine, the back side is to be decided, let's say, but it is interesting. Next I have Bookworm. Well, whoever made this card thinks they're very funny. 7 and a green, very expensive for 7/7, very big. Trample, nice. When he enters, you gain 3 life and draw a card, so it does an Uro impression. And then you can pay 3 to put it from your graveyard into your library third from the top. Okay, so this is a very nice thing to ramp to, because a 7/7 is a big hitter. He draws you a card, so it replaces itself. It gains you 3 life, which can kind of help you stabilize. It's only a single green, so it can even be splashed if you want. And can recur itself, even though it starts from the top. That's already recursion. That's already good enough. I like this. I'll definitely play this in sealed, 100% in draft. I would definitely want to have a little bit of ramp if I'm playing this. I'm not playing this in any green deck. It needs to be a green deck that has a little bit of spicy ramp added into it. Next, I have Charge Through. For a singular green, target creature gains trample on turn of turn, and you draw a card. At instant speed, that's nice. You can just cycle it. It triggers Magecraft. Giving trample can make the opponent's jump block kind of useless. I like the 1 mana draw cards, especially in a set that has an ability like Magecraft. This is fine. This is fine. It obviously gets better the more Magecraft instant sorcery stuff you have in your deck, but it's worse its cycles. So never upset to have this in my deck. Next, I have another lesson, a Containment Breach. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Ooh, this can be very useful as a lesson. If its mana value is 2 or less, you create a pest. This is a good lesson, very good lesson. It can even give you a creature. So if you're playing as a lesson that's crazy good, it gives you a lot of flexibility. And even if you're playing against a deck that's very heavy on instants and on artifacts and enchantments, you might even main deck this. So, bring it in from the sideboard rather. Don't main deck this unless you don't have any learn. But yeah, I do like this. This is one of my non-rare favorite lessons so far. Devouring Tendrils. 1 and a green for sorcery. Target creature control deals damage equal to its spell. Target creature or planeswalker you don't control. When this permanent you don't control dies this turn, you gain 2 life. So this is a better Rabid Bite because you get to put most likely 99.9999% of the time to gain 2 life. Very good removal. It's a sorcery speed, but that's fine. 2 mana. This is premium green removal. I love this. Love this card. I'm liking green a lot so far. Am I gonna be spamming green every draft I do? Maybe. Dragon's Guard Elite. 1 and a green for 2/2. So human druid. So it's already a bear. It's worse. Magecraft. Nice. Magecraft. Are we looking at this? Charge through with this. Okay, let's see what it does. Put a +1+. So whenever you cast into sorcery, this is gonna get thicker and thicker. And for 6 mana, so it even has a mana sink. You can double the counters on it. This card is crazy good in limited. At its worst, it's a bear, which you can never complain about. If you have a single spell, it already gets bigger. If you're playing pump spells, if you're ramping, if you're drawing cards. And then at the late game, when you run out of gas, or you flooded, you have somewhere to put that mana and make this even bigger. This card is a major threat. This card is great. I love this card. I love my best to have massive upsides to every part of it be important. This card's great. I love my mana sinks. This card is fantastic. Next we have Ecological Appreciation with a weird mana cost of mana value. We changed. X2 and a green for mythic sorcery. Search your library and graveyard for up to 4 creature cards with different names that each have mana value X or less. An opponent chooses two of those cards, shuffle the chosen cards into your library and put the rest onto the battlefield. Okay, into the battlefield is nice. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't think this is good in limited. Let's say for example you want to search for 2 drops, so that's already 5 mana. You're only getting 4 mana worth of creatures because 2 of those creatures are getting shuffled. You're gonna have to have 4 2 drops to be able to do this and get this effect done. Your opponent's gonna choose the 2 worst ones. If you wanna get 4 drops, first of all you're gonna have to be playing 4 4-drop creatures. And then you're also gonna have to pay 7 mana for that. At that point you're getting more mana in form of creatures than you pay to cast the spell. But even then it's like whatever, am I playing 4 4-drops? I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I guess if you get this card, you can kind of try to choose a. Obviously, you're usually gonna have 4 2-drops or even more. Your 3-drop and your 3-drop slot is also usually quite full, at least in my experience. So that should be fine. Your 4, your 5, and your 6 don't usually have that many creatures in them. You might, if you get this card, you might want to make like an extra effort to try to get at least 4 creatures in that, and then make this card better. I guess if you're casting for X equals 7 and getting 8 mana worth of creatures, just that your opponent get to choose, that makes it a lot worse. I need to see this card played to actually properly know how I feel about it, but my first impressions are that it's not that good. I think it's medium to bad. Next we have Emergent Sequence, 1 and a green for sorcery. Search a library for basic land card and put him to the battlefield tapped. Are we having Rampant Growth? The land becomes a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature that's still a land. Put a +1/+1 counter on it for each land you've had enter the battlefield under your control this turn. I would much rather this just be a Rampant Growth than be like a Dryad Arbor. It's kind of in the sense that it can just be killed. I don't like my ramp being killed. But this is good. This is good. It fixes your mana because it's going to search for basic land, so it can be any type. It gives you a creature that you can use your pump spells in. It's usually going to be a 1/1, but usually going to be a 2/2 because it might play a land and then cast this. It's going to be 2 land, enters the battlefield. So it's going to be a 2/2 that ramps you, but it can be killed. This is good. This is very good. I love this. Actually, no, I've come around this. I love this. This is a lot better than Rampant Growth. Well, probably not. Rampant Growth, your ramp can't be killed, but this one can also kill your opponent, so you gotta choose which one you like best. But I think they're similar. But this card's good. Forget Rampant Growth. This card's good. This card's great. I'm loving green so far. I don't think there's. I think apart from basic Conjuration, which I'm still happy to have in my sideboard, I would play all of these cards to be decided on this one though. Everything else is great. I'm loving this. Exponential Growth. So this is the double X card for green, XX, and double green for a sorcery. Until end of turn, double target creature's power X times. This being a sorcery hurts it a lot. Only targeting one creature also makes it a lot weaker. It would be nice if you do X equals 2, you could target 2 creatures. That would be funky. That would make it a lot better. Only targeting 1, you double and then you double again if you cost it for 6 mana. That's very, very expensive. And then what's your creature's power 3? So he's gonna go 6 into 12. That might not even be lethal on its own. I think it's overpriced and it's gonna be interesting to play with, but I don't think it's going to be good. I don't think this is going to be good. I think this is going to be a bad card to have in your deck. I don't like sorcery speed. It doesn't give trample, and it can easily just be chumped. It's an interesting design, but this ain't it. This ain't it. This is not good. Field Trip. All right. 2 and a green. Why did I say all right? 2 and a green for a sorcery. Search a library for basic forest card. Put the card to the battlefield tapped and shuffle. Learn. Okay, so this ramps but doesn't fix, which I don't like, because I like my ramp to be able to fix me because I'm playing 5 colors like an idiot. Learn is nice. 3 mana ramp is fine. Usually your 3 mana ramp is you're gonna find you 2 lands like Cultivate, put 1 into your hand. Nessa's Pilgrimage, put 1 into play, 1 in your hand, but only forests. This only finds 1, so you could compare it to Omen of the Path. What's the green omen? I don't remember the name right now, but that one got you to later scry 2 and you can search for anything, but I guess the added bonus is learn. If I'm playing green, probably green with 1 or 2 other colors with it. Probably if it's 4 colors, I'm unlikely to play this. I'll probably play it because ramp is nice. And learn, if I have a few lessons, this gets a lot better. This is an okay to fine card. I like it. I do like it. Although I don't like the restriction of only being forests, but I guess that's the way they had to make it fair. Next we have Fortifying Drought. For single green is an instant. You gain 2 life, so that's some life gain for some of the cards we've seen prior. It's a singular mana for an instant for Magecraft. Target creature gets +X until the turn, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn. So it's worse. It's gaining you 2 and giving you +2/+2. 1 mana +2/+2 is fine. Doesn't give you any kind of keyword. Maybe first strike, reach, untap it, or trample, whatever kind of extra stuff, spice you want to add into it. It does gain you 2 life, which is nice. We do have some synergy for life gain. Magecraft as well also triggers that. In most sets I wouldn't be excited about this, but considering the Magecraft and the life gain stuff, this card is a good combat trick to consider. This is definitely good. You can even pump for more if you're gaining life in more ways, so yeah, this is a good combat trick. Gnarled Professor, 2 and double green for a 5/4 Tree Folk Druid. classes in season. I hate the flavor text. When you enter the battlefield, you learn. So this is very good power and toughness for the mana cost. It has a very relevant keyword and gets to rummage or draw a card, draw a lesson from your sideboard. So this is fantastic card. Love it, love it, love it. I could even see it seeing constructed play as well. But I love it. This is just a good card. I'm loving green. I'm gonna be forcing green every draft I do. Jeez Louise. On a troll, 2 and a green for 2/3 vigilance troll druid. That's fine. If you gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. That's great. If you have more than 25 life, it becomes a 4/4. As I was seeing green, I don't think it's that hard to have over 25 life, especially if your opponent's not a super hyper aggressive deck. So this being a 3 mana 4/4, that will make whatever life you gain be +1, so you gain even more life. And it has vigilance, very good card. On its own, a 2/3 vigilance for 3 mana is, I would play it. I wouldn't be excited about it, but I would play it. But all this text is very relevant, so if you have a marginal amount of life gain, this is already like a very good card. We've looked at Jadzi before. Now we have Garrick Wrangler. Why did I say Garrick? Garrick? I don't know. 4 and a 5 for 3/3 elf druid with Magecraft. Whenever you trigger Magecraft, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, so it can be anything. I don't like it being a 5 mana 3/3. Can very easily be dealt with. I do like that you can target any creature and it's not only growing itself. That's nice. So it's good to pretend this is an enchantment that's just gonna chill there and make your other creatures bigger, and then eventually you can just make this big as well if you have no other choice and swing in with it. I don't like the mana cost with power toughness ratio here. I'm not very high on this card. I'm medium on it. I'm not very high. I think in a green blue Magecraft deck, maybe a green red if I'm trying to break the color pipe, not the color pipe, the colors scheme they're giving us. Is green red? I think green red isn't. I'm pretty sure it isn't, because green red is allied colors. Yes, and this one we're doing, I forget what the word is, but yeah, this card I'm medium and not very high on it. I think this is okay, and in the right deck is okay plus. Kian, Dean of Substance, 2 and a green for a 2/2 legendary creature elf druid. Tap it, exile the top card of your library. If it's a land, put it to your hand, otherwise put a study counter on it. You can do that at instant speed. I do like that. Pay 5 mana, create a 0/0 blue and green and blue fractal. Put a +1/+1 counter on it for each different mana value among non-land cards you own in exile. Study counters on them. Great card. It has an okay body. 3 mana 2/2 is not exciting, but that's fine. It has an ability that can be very relevant to draw your cards, drawing your lands. You can maybe lose a few good cards, but that's fine. You will then later on use 5 mana, which is not that expensive considering this card is 3, to just be making big creatures. Well, probably like 2, 3, maybe 4 power creatures. If you're lucky, 5 power creatures. You can do that every turn. You can do it multiple times a turn. It doesn't cost. You don't need to tap her to do it, and you can tap her and pay the cost in the same turn as well. So that's sick. I like this card. It's very relevant. Everything about it is good, and even has a backside. Let's look at her back. That sounds weird. Inbraham, Dean of Fury. So it's a 2 and 2 blue for 3/3 flyer, legendary creature bird wizard. That's already great. Tap X. So tap it, X and double blue, exile the top X card of your library and put a study counter on each of them. Then you may put a card on you own in exile with a study counter on it until into your hand. So I could play X = 1 and then just put that card into exile with that, and then I can pay double blue and tap it as well to just get that card, so I don't even need to be exiling more cards if there's just one that I want to get. Very good creature. I mean, a 4 mana 3/3 fly. I want to be attacking with it because this is a real clock, but that's a very good card advantage engine as well in it. So this card is fantastic. I like both sides of it, and both sides are great. Moving on, Line Invocation. So 6 mana, 5 and a green for a sorcery. Create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X+1/+1 counters into X is the number of lands you control. So most of the time, at its worst, it's probably going to be a 6 mana 6/6, which is fine. It's like a Vigor Spore Worm without the life gain, which you're not excited, but that's fine. If you flood it, it's going to be bigger. If you ramped, it's going to be bigger and earlier maybe. This is a fine filler if you're lacking endgame stuff, top end stuff rather, or if you're ramping a lot. Ramping in the form of lands and not ramping in the form of tapping creatures to add mana. This is fine. This is filler, but decent filler. Mage Duo, 2 and a green for a sorcery. Target creature you control gets +1/+2. Then it fights target creature you don't control, and then it costs 2 less if cast another instant or sorcery spell this turn. So even if you remove this first line of text, the discount, this card is already good. A fight spell for 3 mana that pumps your creatures to help it win the fight. Fantastic on its own. Having the possibility to play, I don't know, let's say Fortifying Drought, so you already make your creature bigger, and this costs even less, costs a singular mana, costs the cost of a Prey Upon to fight, is amazing. This card is amazing. This is not as premium removal as the one we saw before, which was Devouring Tendrils, but it's still very good removal. This is very good green removal. I'll be happy to have 2, 3, 4 of these in my deck. I do love removal a lot, so you probably want 2 or 3 max, but I would play 5. Anyways, moving on, we have Master Symmetrist next. Is everything going to be 4 power on this? No, okay, I don't know why I said that. 2 and double green, 4/4 with reach, Rhino Druid. When a creature controls power equal to its toughness attacks, so like a symmetrical creature, Symmetrist, symmetrical, it gains trample. Good power and toughness for the cost, perfect 4 mana for 4/4 with a relevant keyword. And when it attacks with this, it gives itself trample. So it's a 4/4 reach trample creature. This is amazing. This is very good creature. You can give other creatures of yours trample as well. This is very good. Uncommon. I'm really losing my mind, am I? I've read way too many cards. These cards have way too many words on them. I'm very happy to have this in my deck. This is a D+ creature. Honestly, very, very good creature. Next I have Overgrown Arch. 1 and a green for a plant wall, 0/4 with Defender. You can tap it to gain a life. You can sack it to learn. Pay 2 mana and sack it to learn. Worth noting, doesn't need to tap to sack it, so you can gain a life and then do this. It's a good brick wall to slow your opponents down. It's gaining your life, so this is a way to get life for all the life gain stuff we've seen prior, like the Troll, for example. Plant. Did that Pest thing say plants as well? No, it did not say plants. Never mind. Just checking. You can learn if you want to. You can dance if you want to. You can learn if you want to. You can leave your friends behind, and then you can, even without this is already fine. A 0/4 gain 1 by tapping it every turn. So this is a fine card, like especially in your slower decks, your multicolored decks that you're lacking a 2-drop to kind of hold your opponent back, so you can do your game plan. This fits right in. It's not going to go in your aggressive decks unless you have life gain synergies, but other than that, this is a good card. I like it. I like it. This will fit in a lot of my decks because I like doing dirtly stuff. Next I have Professor of Zoomancy. I love this art, by the way. It's such a cute pair. 3 and a green for 4/3. That's fine. And when he enters, create a 1/1 black and green Pest. So it's a 5. You get 5 power and 4 toughness across 2 bodies for 4 mana. And the Pest is a relevant creature type. It can gain life, which is relevant. This card is a very good common. Very, very good common. I do like 2 bodies for the price of 1. So yeah, this is good. There's not much else to say other than this is a very good card. She's brilliant, if a bit overbearing. Someone had a lot of fun with the flavor text and the naming of the cards in this set, and I salute them. That's all I gotta say about that. Next we have Reckless Implementer. 1 and a green for 2/2. So it's a bear at its worst, which, if you know me, I love my bears, especially this one. This one's very cute. But you can pay 5 mana to double its power and toughness at the end of turn. So it has good mana sink. So 5 mana make it a 4/4. If you have 10 mana available for some reason, you can make it an 8/8. You can do that on attack, on block. This is a bear with a relevant menacing. This is great. I love this. Green is so good. Why is green so good? I've liked 99% of the cards so far. I failed maths, by the way. Scurried Colony. 1 and a green for 2/2 with reach. Squirrel. This is a word I can never say. So it's a bear with a relevant keyword at its worst. And if you control 8 or more lands, it's a 4/4. I love this card. It's relevant in the early game to put pressure. Can block the flyers that will be attacking us. Since we're green deck, we usually struggle a bit with flyers since we don't have any of our own. And it's still relevant in the late game because it'll be a 4/4. So yeah, especially if you're ramping as well. This is good. All these green cards are good. The next one, I already see it and I'm not a fan. Spine Carrock, 2 and a green for 2/4 Crocodile, and that's it. A vanilla 2/4. I think we've seen that green is very deep and has a lot of good cards, that this card would just end up sitting on the sideline, not even, maybe could be a sideboard against aggressive decks because of the big butt. But overall, not a fan. There's a lot of better green commons that you should be putting in your deck before you put this in. Next we have Spring Meng Servant with a very comfy artwork. 2 and a green for 3/2 Elk. When he enters, you gain 2 life. 3/2 for 3. Possible, like that's fine, I'll play it. Gains life. If I have life gain synergy, I'm more inclined to play this. So if I'm blacking 3 drops, I'll play this. If I have life gain synergies, I would definitely play this. I think it boils down to that. Boils down to that. That's the thing. Good card, fine card rather. Tangle Trap, 1 and a green for an instant that you get to choose one. It deals 5 damage to a creature flying, which will 99% of the time kill the flyer, or destroy an artifact. So it's your usual Broken Wings, but this one doesn't get to hit enchantments, which it's somewhat relevant. It's always nice to have the flexibility. Good sideboard, not much more than that. Would be nice if it had Lesson, but it doesn't. But other than that, that's fine. You bring it in, especially against the blue, the flyers deck. Could be white, black, or any blue variant. So yeah, this is a good sideboard. We've already talked about Valentin and Lyset. I remember not being able to read that. Oh, okay. Last card is a Green Mastery. So 5 and a green for a sorcery. Search your library for up to 4 basic land cards and reveal them. I don't like that. You don't put any. Oh no, you can put one of them into the battlefield tab. Okay, I do like that then. And then opponent's control. Wait. Okay, let's start again. Let's read all of it. So search your library for 4 basic lands. If you paid 4 rather than 6, you put 2 of them under your control and 1 under your opponent's control. So you're ramping your opponent. But if you paid 6 instead of 4, so you pay the normal cost, you put 2 under your control and there are other 2 in your hand. 6 mana to ramp is not really where you want to be. If I'm playing a lot of colors, I'm more inclined to play this. I don't think I'm costing this for 4. I don't want to ramp my opponent. I don't want to fix my opponent's mana. Actually, it doesn't necessarily fix because I'm giving a land for my deck. Do I get to choose? Yes, I get to choose which basic land I'm giving them. So I could give them a color they don't have, so it will be a colorless land for them, which will still ramp them, but at least won't fix them. Finding 4 lands is a nice way to thin your deck as well. Your deck will be full of spells after that. I like this card. I rated it highly, but that's because I like doing janky stuff. I think if you're not a janky master like myself, I'm not a master, this card is less good. Try to cost it for 6, but desperate times you can cost it for 4 and be okay with it. So good card for me, probably okay card for everyone else. So yeah, that's it for the green cards. We're gonna be back hopefully soon for the 2 parts of the golden ones, and the one I'm most excited about, we're gonna be looking at Mystical Archives for limited. So stay tuned, subscribe, and let me know your opinion of the cards, and let me know how much you disagree with me, which probably be a lot because I'm a janky person. But anyways, have a good day. Until next time. See ya.